What's up, everybody? It's your boy Siphon T C G, and I'm back here with you guys another video. Real quick announcement before we get to episode 3 of Becoming the Best Kano. This will be the last time you guys see me in this location, at least as far as the video goes. I am moving this Friday. Currently it is Saturday, so 6 days from now I am moving, and a lot of my prep work will be getting this room cleared out, and obviously work will take a large bulk of my time. And then obviously I do have 2 times a week that I am going to travel for some flesh and blood, so my time will be allocated other places. But we are going to get our own place and it's going to look good, so we're going to feel good. But we'll get to that later. Thank you guys for coming for episode 3 of Becoming the Best Kano. And the reason I wanted to make this episode today, because it was actually planned for a different day, was I remember my first ever episode. I was watching my first ever episode back and just seeing how far I've actually already came, and it feels like it was just a month or two ago that I made that episode, and I've already come a long way. And I was like, my goal for Kano is to get comfortable enough for him to bring him to a rated event. Now, I technically brought him to 2, but the first one was kind of eh. I brought Kano to a PQ because I expected a lot of aggro. And I thought I could just goldfish my way and kill them on turn 2 or 3 before they killed me. And unfortunately, that was unable to happen, and I went like 1-4 with Kano. Happens. Other than that, I really only played him during playtesting and a few armories. And I was like, alright, I'm not going to bring him up for at least another month. Lo and behold, Battle Hardened Indianapolis comes. I unfortunately did not make day 2. I was one game off of making day 2 for the calling Indianapolis with Control Dash, so I was just like, I'll play the Battle Harden. Well, I don't have a Blitz deck, right? It's a Blitz tournament. Well, you know what's good in Kano? Well, wow. You know what's good in Blitz? Kano, because my other option was Control Dash, and no, just no. So I decided to take Kano to the Battle Harden, and my rounds were pretty weird. I'm actually trying to remember my final standing. I believe I was 33rd out of like 126. I know I was 33rd, but I think it was like 126, some high number, right? And unfortunately, there was 8 rounds, right? There was 8 rounds. I went 6-2. I went 6-2. So realistically, what happened was round 3. Because I was streaming the event, um, I unfortunately did not get to report my own match. My opponent reported it and reported that he won. He did not. So instead of actually being 7-1, I was 6-2, or whatever the equivalent is. Yeah, I believe it was 8. It was. I only had one actual loss. And here's the thing: my one actual loss wasn't even a loss. So what actually happened was I left my suitcase at the Airbnb we're at. And we had to check out at 11. Well, it's like 10 o'clock. So I had to get an Uber, drive back to the Airbnb, drive back. By the time I got back, round 1 already started and they dropped me from the tournament. So I got lost. So actually, I never actually lost a game until the very end. I actually forgot about the very end. Um, so up until round 8, I didn't actually lose a game with Kano. And this wasn't actual Blitz Kano. This was my CC deck. Took out the 3rd card of everything, called it a Blitz deck, and then prayed to God it worked. And lo and behold, it worked. It felt really good to play. Like I said, my first match was probably one of my favorite matches. What I'll do is I'll put my kill turn here, and then we'll continue talking about the rest of it. So here's how I killed my opponent. Okay, you gotta admit that was kind of sick, and like I truthfully didn't actually see that line when I initially did it. And also, I did get very, very fortunate to get the Blazing Aether off top. Like, I don't think anything else really kills there. But it's just, I am at that point where, like, even if I don't technically see that line, I can still play out the line properly, if that makes sense. Like, if you sat down and gave me this hand and said, alright, what is the best line you can do to kill your opponent? I would probably just, like, my brain would be melting for, like, 5 minutes. But also, would actually execute the best line, because I talked to a few other people about the line, and I showed my mentor the line, and they all said, yeah, that was a pretty clean line. I was like, oh, cool, everyone's saying I did good. I mean, obviously I killed them, but, like, killing someone versus actually doing it the right way, two different things. I don't have a full matchup breakdown because I don't even remember most of my matches, to be honest. It was Blitz, and it's been a long time, and I've done a lot of stuff. I'm very, very tired. But it was a good time. So realistically, because of my own fault, I should have top aided. Now, because like I said, my round one opponent, if I was running as high as I was all day, I feel like I could have beat my round one opponent. And round one and two usually sets the tone for the whole entire day, because that's usually when you face just like the randoms. And as long as you can execute your game plan, you usually should beat whoever you face round one or two if you're good enough. My only genuine loss was the last round. It was against like Kasai, which is my boy Kumo Charles. You should be seeing this. How you doing, bro? Stop commenting my section that you beat me when I was on Bolton. It does not count. But he was the only person to play Oasis Respite against me the whole entire day. So what are you gonna do? There's nothing I can do. I didn't see it coming. I got my back blown out. Pause. Pause. But Candle's been feeling good recently. I did take him to an armory last week. I only did go 2-2. Unfortunately, there has been some clunkiness I felt with Kano, but again, the deck is, even though we've made the deck very consistent, the playstyle you play is very hot and cold. Because what happened to me is every time my opponent would tap out, and I would have like Lessons Evolved in hand, Aether Wildfire, and Arsenal, I would just have a red and a yellow, and I was like, well, I can't really combo out. Or I would have combo in hand. I would have three blues already. My opponent plays one thing, has three cards in hand. There's just no way I can kill through that because they had AB3. They literally can just absorb 9 damage from my combo, and I don't combo out and kill them. And playing against Drumeye, they have Sand Cover, Oasis Spite. I played against Odom. They have Steadfast. Oh, let me talk about my Odom game, because that was a tilter, dude. So, for one of the first times, because the biggest thing I've been trying to learn with Kano is pitch stacking. Dude, I pitch stacked double Aether Wildfire into Blazing Aether, into a middle spell. I pitch stacked this. I had to pretend like I didn't, because I can tell people I don't know how to pitch stack with Kano, which I don't, but like that was something I knew how to pitch stack. I get to it, I send it. My opponent on my first Aether Wildfire, my opponent goes, haha, a wish spot. I'm like, pushes his glasses up. You fool! You fell right into my trap. I banish volcano Aether Wildfire, and he's like, Oasis Spite. I'm like, because like right before that, he's like, you're gonna be really sad this turn, and I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you're gonna be really, really sad, and I'm like, I don't understand why. Um, so I knew he had Oasis Spite in Arsenal. His issue is even if your opponent does telegraph it, which my opponent did, it a lot of times doesn't actually matter. They can just play it, and you have to play around it, which I thought I did, but he ended up having the second one. He drew it the previous turn. The whole shop, for some odd reason, said, well, there's no way he's not going to have two. And I'm like, well, he didn't have two per turn, like 2 turns ago, and then like all the turns before that, he didn't have two because I was watching his pitch. He hasn't pitched one yet. So like, he just drew one the turn before I comboed. So it's not like he planned that. Like the first one, yeah, sure, but I don't know. My shop's weird, and I hate most of their opinions on like almost everything. Half of them are watching this. Hi, shop. I mean, you already know that how much we argue. But I kind of got Street Tough there. I mean, it is a line that like I probably should have seen coming because the fact that he hasn't pitched one, he wasn't palming a card. And card Marshall, like I probably could have read, I probably should have read that at some point he would have double Aether Wild Respite, double always Respite. I personally don't know how to play around that. Because Because like the one way that usually you would play around Oasis Spy is to make him use it early by using a Striderless combo and just using Ragamuffin's hat. The issue with that is your hand has to line up for something like that. So you have to have like triple blue, Aether Wildfire, maybe even an E-Pot, banish off a Kano and get like a good metal spell, Aether Wildfire into metal spell into like Blazing Aether, or like Wildfire into Aether Flare into something to get them to use an Oasis Respite. But then depending on how the rest of your, like if you had to use an E-Pot to do that, well now you don't have E-Pot for your combo turn. It kind of then depends on what you draw next because you use so many resources. Who knows what the next direction move to combo is? In this instance, it would have been correct. Um, but the one thing that I've done, I've become so formulated because I've been gold fishing. I've been strictly practicing how to do move for move the traditional lessons in lava combo. It's been like my most done thing because it's the most consistent combo by far. So it's what I've been practicing. So any deviations I would need to take from there, or any non-striders version, is hard. It's just hard for me. I'm gonna be honest. But I have seen my growth with Kano. I didn't perceive myself being her yet. One thing I do need to up is my win round Talishar. Now Talishar is not the best practice environment. I still do believe in Talishar. I do believe people should play on Talishar if able. Because there are some benefits there, but obviously I do know that there is more benefit to playing in person, especially against good people. Because one thing that Josh Lyles always said, and I think this quote is absolutely amazing: the hottest forge sharpens the sharpest steel, something like that. God dang it! No, hold on. The sharpest steel is forged in the hottest furnace. Basically, what it's saying is like the best players are in the best practice environment. Talishar just unfortunate unless you know who you're playing against, it's not really the best environment. But I kind of just wanted to give you guys an update here. I know it wasn't the longest video. We should have episode 4 of Becoming the Best Kano with a special guest. Who you guys, if you guys have seen my live streams, you guys might know who it is. If you don't, be surprised. But I'm tired. I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna go back to sleep because I have gotten like 2 hours of sleep in the last like 5 years. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys like, favorite, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. It's been your more Siphon from Siphon TCG. Peace!